Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'll be showing you my exact nightly routine for the law of attraction and also reprogramming my subconscious mind. Now I believe that this video can help you understand how to optimize the last 20 or 30 minutes right before you go to bed, and also give you the tools to help you make that something that has a powerful effect over your subconscious mind. Now, recently I did a video that was on my exact morning routine, and in that what I'm going to do is compare that to my night, because I do some of the same similar things, and also show a couple extra things that I do specifically at night before I go to bed. Now I'm going to actually show you exactly what I mean, so let's go. So the first thing I do every night has to do with what is called a definite purpose. Now, a definite purpose is something that I originally got from the book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in that, he says that the best time to say your definite purpose is right when you wake up in the morning and right when you are going to bed at night, so right before you sleep. Now, a definite purpose is something that allows you to focus on the best possible version of yourself, to be able to focus on accomplishing the goals that you have, and on really invoking the emotion inside of you of already having that which you want to experience. Now, this is something that Bruce Lee has done, and I'll read to you Bruce Lee's mission statement, just so you can get kind of a general basis for the way that you can develop yours, and I'll kind of share with you some of mine as well. But what he says is, his says, I, Bruce Lee, will be the first highest paid Oriental superstar in the United States. In return, I will give the most exciting performances in the capacity of being an actor. Starting 1970, I will achieve world fame, and from that point, I will have, by the end of 1980, $10 million in my bank account. I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. Signed, Bruce Lee, dated January 1969. Now, the idea behind this is what you can have is some larger goals for what you want to accomplish in your life. You can say, my name, whatever your name is, that goal, and then the next part is saying what you are willing to give in return for getting that goal. So this is important because it's not just about what can you get out of life, but what can you give in return. So his is giving his capacity of an actor in entertainment. Mine is I have a 5 and 10 year goals, and some of them have to do with becoming a world-class speaker. So I say that and have the vision for who I want to become, like the best version of myself I can imagine. And in exchange, I'm willing to give the most amount of value I can add to other people by sharing the information that I share. And from there, it moves on to the next steps, which has to do with the time frame, some specific things, and then general values that you might have. So the idea is that you can incorporate this and you can apply it in your morning routine and then also your nightly routine. And this is just simply the way that I start off my nightly routine every single day. Now, I want to also say that it's more so about the feeling that it evokes rather than just the words. So it's not just the words that you're saying. The idea is that as you say it, you should feel powerful emotion under it, and that's how you know it's something that you're really meant to be doing. So the next step for this has to do with grounding, which I will show you right now. The next step has to do with grounding. Now, this isn't necessarily a necessity, but for me, I found that this is something that's very powerful because I have so much energy, and I find that if I come walk barefoot on grass, or I find that if I am able to just sit on grass, it's very good for me to really ground myself, to really balance my energy out. Now, the reason I think this can be powerful is because so much of our everyday life is spent on concrete if you're in a city, or it's spent with electronic devices close by. This is something that I find recalibrates myself and allows me also, I get to come out, and a lot of times there'll be stars, and it's something that I find just very calming as well. I've been doing this for probably about 5 or 6 years now. For at least 5 or 10 minutes I'll come out here every night. I used to not live with grass in the backyard, so I used to have to drive like 5 or 10 minutes away every night to go to the park, and I did do that. Now, I know that's a little bit hardcore. I've just found that it helps me sleep good, and if I have a lot of energy, I'll definitely make sure that I walk barefoot on grass, especially like, this is gonna sound also kind of weird, but if I haven't done legs recently at the gym, there'll be a lot of like energy kind of going through my body. So what I'll do is come here, walk barefoot on grass, and it's like I'm good to go. So let's go on to the next step. Let's go. Alright, so now we are back up here, and what I want to show you is something that I've been using the last like couple months, and I found it's very powerful for really being able to shut my brain down from not being so stimulated by devices, because a lot, and I'll share with you in a minute, but a lot of what I do is I read before I go to bed, and I do that on my iPad, which is electronic, and sometimes what happens is that there's certain types of light that end up making it so that the brain doesn't produce melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. So the idea behind this is that what I do is I bought these glasses on Amazon, and they were like 10 or 15 bucks. They weren't that much. But what they do is I wear these within about 20-30 minutes of going to bed when I'm reading on electronic devices or just from the artificial light around. But what it does is it blocks a certain type of light. I think it's the blue light. And it blocks that light so that it doesn't go into my mind and then stimulate so that my brain still thinks that the sun is out. So I use these every night, 30 minutes before I go to bed. I put these on normally before I read, so like I'll take a shower, then I'll read. And this is what I use, and I found that it's made a difference in the sense that my mind is able to start shutting down much faster than if I have the stimulation of staring at a screen. So also what I'll do is on my iPad, what I do is I will read about 20 minutes next. I read some type of book that I'm interested in. And normally it's a personal development book or it's something to do with that. But what I do is on my screen, I turn my screen down to the lowest possible light. So, I mean, you can't see it right now, but if it were dark in the room, you would. So that that's not like, you know, overstimulating my brain from thinking that it still needs to stay awake. Then what I do is I'll set my alarm, and then what I'll do is I'll read for about 20, sometimes 30 minutes. Now, the books I like to read are normally personal development books. I have books by Eckhart Tolle. I have books by Tony Robbins. I have books by, there's a lot of different types of books in here. The Feeling is the Secret is a very powerful book, and that's a very short book, but it's about how, once again, similar ideas of what I'm sharing, feel the emotion of what you want to feel right as you're going to bed at night, as you're falling asleep, and that will influence the subconscious mind. So I'll read these different books, and that really allows me to prime myself for immersing myself into those ways of thinking. And the way I think about books, and I've shared this before, is that when you are reading a book, you are entraining your mind with the author that wrote it. So it's an easy way, if you don't have mentors that are helping you think a certain way, a mentor can be a book. Now, maybe it's not as powerful as someone there with you, but it's still very powerful for reprogramming the subconscious mind and tailoring the focus in a powerful way. So I'll read for about 20-30 minutes, and then what I want to share with you is the next one, which is maybe something you've never heard before. This is the nightly routine drink. So in my morning routine, I drink lemon water right when I get up in the morning, or it's one of the first things that I do. This time, it's a little bit different. This is something that I've been doing for about the last month now. I learned it from the Tim Ferriss podcast. It's something that is really simple to do, and what you do is you boil hot water. What you do is you have a cup of hot water, and then you just add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Now, apple cider vinegar has so many benefits, and one of the main ones is it helps kill bacteria, it helps with clearing out the gut, and there's just so many other benefits of it. You can go online, you can look it up, you can see what I mean, but do this about half an hour before you go to bed. It really, because of the hot water, helps relax and helps like wind down for the night. But I found that the apple cider vinegar, there's something about it that maybe it's just clearing me out when I go to bed at night, or whatever it is, but I find that I sleep amazing, and when I wake up in the morning, I feel like ready to go. Like I don't feel like I need 20-30 minutes to like really get energy or like get out of a funk. I feel like I had some of the best sleep, and that when I wake up, I'm just simply ready to go. I'm awake and good. So the idea is to do this about 20 minutes before you go to bed. Drink it. What I do is I normally get it started. I put the hot water, I put the 2 tablespoons in, and then I'll leave it with like a cup over it as if it was steeping it, even though there's nothing to steep. Then what I'll do is I'll go take a shower. By the time I get out, normally it's cooled down enough to where I can drink it. I drink it, and then I go to the next step, which is upstairs. I'll show you. Alright, now let me first off just say that this was something that I was skeptical of at first, but I used to work with this guy that literally would sleep for like 14 or 15 hours a day. He said that, you know, on his days off, all he would do was sleep, and that he was able to sleep for like 14, 15 hours at a time, and I was like, that is such long to sleep. How do you even do that? And what he told me is that what he does is he puts ice cubes in like a plastic baggie, and he puts it right under this spot, right under like where the brainstem connects to the brain, like the spine and the brainstem. So I thought it was weird at first, but then I started looking it up online, and apparently it's very good for being able to fall asleep. It's very good for bringing the blood circulation there, and it's something that helps a lot of people fall asleep. Like there was actually some type of science behind it. So I tried it. What I use is I use one of these things that you would normally put in a drink, so it's like a metal ice cube, so that I don't have to worry about like a bag breaking or the ice melting. So what I do is I put this in the freezer, and before I go to bed when I'm actually reading, so I'll actually do this before I'm reading, what I do is I put this, which is frozen, right under this part of my head. And what I do is I'm laying there for about 20 minutes and it's like frozen, and what it does is it brings a lot of coldness to that area, but I find that it helps. It's more of like a therapeutic thing, but also at the same time it does help, and I've noticed that my sleep is a lot deeper because of it. So I know it's kind of one of those weird things, but it's something that I am always open-minded to, like trying something like that. I tried it and I've been doing it for probably about 5 or 6 months now, and it's just part of my nightly routines. The next thing I do has to do with my meditation. After I read and have this underneath for about 20 minutes, then I go straight into meditation, and I'll show you a little bit about my process for that, because it's similar to my morning routine, but at the same time it's still a little bit different. So let's flip around. The next step is all about meditation, and there's 2 parts to my meditation similar to my morning routine. What I do is I focus first off on just simply clearing my mind. I focus on being present to the moment, bringing the awareness out of my head and into my body, and that allows my thinking to slow down so that then my focus is more powerful, and then it also is very relaxing. So what I do, and I've explained this before, is I use what is like a candle flame. What I do is I light that, and then I stare at the candle flame. What it helps me do is have one single point of focus so that my mind's not wandering around, because I found that if my eyes wander, my mind follows and also wanders. So having one singular point of focus has been very powerful for allowing me to calm my mind and to have that level of focus. So what I do is I focus on the flame. Then what I do is I simply observe my thoughts. I don't control them. I don't resist certain thoughts. I just observe what goes on in my mind. I observe them as they flow in and as they flow out. Now I'll do that for about 5 or 10, sometimes 15 minutes. And what I do is then put all the focus on my sense perceptions. I put all the focus on from being in my head and the thinking to into my hands, into my chest, and I put a lot of the focus into my heart. So I find that doing that allows me to then feel more gratitude, to then feel more into it, and what I'll then focus on are things that I am grateful for. So things that I already have in my life that I'm grateful for. It allows me to grow the feeling of that gratitude, and from there what I'll do is then I'll focus on things that I want to create or experience in my life. So it's almost like I've already felt the gratitude for what I already have, then I'm feeling gratitude for what I don't have already, but from what I can feel from that focus. So the idea is I'll focus on things I want to accomplish, the kind of person I want to become. I'll very vividly see also the self-image for the kind of person I prefer to be, and I'll simply know that when I wake up in the morning, that is who I am. That version of me, the best version of me, is who I am. So now the final step is, as I'm actually laying down and going to bed, what I like to do is sometimes what I'll do is I'll put my hands over my heart and I'll really feel into my heart. And what I'll do is I'll focus on the things that I want to accomplish, the person I prefer to become. And as I am drifting off to sleep, I focus on those feelings. I like to use visualization in a very powerful way, visualize certain scenarios of what I want to create or what I want to experience in life. And as I do that, that is as I am falling asleep. So I'll do that for however long it takes me to go to bed. I find that normally I fall asleep pretty easily, so normally it's only about 5, 10, 15 minutes after I meditate. But I find that doing that has been one of the most powerful ways that I've influenced my subconscious mind and really allow myself to create what I want in my life. So there's a book that you can read on this called The Feeling is the Secret, and it's by Neville Goddard. It's a powerful book that's all about the idea of the last 20 minutes before you go to bed, how embodying those feelings and those emotions as you're falling from an alpha beta state into the theta delta state. So as you fall asleep, you're going to the theta delta state, brainwave activity, and that's where a lot of the power over the subconscious mind really is. So with that, remember, all you have to do to go to bed at night to influence your subconscious mind is to first off set the intentions for what you want to create the next day. What you can then do is simply know those will get attained, know those will get accomplished, then read the mission statement. The mission statement is so powerful for the repetition of the kind of person you prefer to become and what you want to accomplish. From that point of view, what you can focus on is then going out and grounding yourself in grass, allowing yourself to really balance your own energy out. Then what you can do is, if you choose, you can put those glasses on so that you no longer are absorbing artificial light that is keeping the brain awake. Then what you can do is you can use the little hack that I found for being able to sleep well by putting it right underneath your head where your brain connects to your spine. Then simply read for a little bit, then do your meditation, and from that point of view, get into bed and feel the way you prefer as you go to bed at night. And also, don't forget the apple cider vinegar with the hot water for amazing sleep and clearing out the gut. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste. All right, bye.